Hello and welcome back to Rogue Trader. We are wrapping up the act today, I think. I'm pretty sure we're wrapping up the act today. We're hunting down Marazai, who has just attacked Dargonis. Since we last left, I have gone through and given a bunch of level ups to everybody, and I have once again reworked Biggest Turg. He's mostly the same. The major difference is that I have pumped up willpower instead of weapon skill and toughness. So that he actually can do some of his psyker stuff a little bit more. It's also kind of nice because Officer actually plays off of willpower, so it buffs up some of his other abilities there as well. We do have a little bit of a drip change. I have swapped out our armor from the Pirate Chainmail that just gives 50% to this 45% plus 10 if in half cover. I'm assuming this counts for full cover as well. We're in cover all the time because we always start next to the servo skull. So I figured this was a slightly better fit. We're also taking this Certium mask for the +1 psi rating and 15 persuasion, as well as stopping us from getting absolutely nuked by demons. This is replacing an item that gave us like 24% to damage on anybody getting an extra turn during voice of command. This is basically just like once a combat, somebody got 27% damage on an extra hit. I felt like the skull mask here was a better outfit, and also it looks pretty good. It looks pretty cool. We now have a Psyker staff. We took the Pyromancer staff, so we also can flamethrower people. And this does mean we had to lose the shield, so I threw the Corrupted Inferno pistol onto the second hand here with the Force Sword, and honestly, I think it looks pretty good. The other major item change I did was with Jay. I realized we had this helmet that gives armorship based on Iconoclast conviction, so I've got her up to 93% armor right now. I also then ditched the double pistols and gave her the nullifying shotgun so that she can smack a bunch of people if they're in close, and if they're far away, she can use this Aldari Melta and just zap them from a distance. So she's a bit more get into the thick of it and do like AoE damage. But really, ultimately, she's still about just drawing attention to herself. Her goal is to be hit in combat more than anything else. So she's pretty straightforward. I don't think I might have changed out a few other minor things here. Yeah, I gave like Abelard this Book of War prayers instead of something else that wasn't really doing anything for him. And otherwise, it's mostly just been changes to Turg. Lots of great level ups, lots of good, cool new abilities. Nothing too like game breaking. Just tightening the screws a little bit. So Turg is still a pyro. Yes, yeah. I decided to keep Turg a pyro. Oh yeah, we have to do the Master of Ceremonies today. Find traces of the Gene Stealers, Master of Ceremonies. Talk to Adira on the Voidship Bridge about Nomos, as well as talk to Abelard and the other officers. Okay. I wouldn't mind learning about Nomos a little bit too. We could never establish a new colony. We'll do a quick talk to people about Nomos, and then we can go land and do our celebration. Artificer Trader and Bard Trader, already existing subclasses. Mac, hello. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Well, look, let's go talk to Adira because she's my fave. Our little favorite psyker. Figure out what we can about this computer. Epitaph, Incident, Tech Blight. Do these words mean anything to you? Perhaps your abilities can tell you something.
They mean nothing to me. They're just words.
She breaks off and winces.
A whisper, so quiet I barely caught it. Like a feather landing on a pile of down. Something about damned ambitions, antiquity, terrible antiquity, and chance. Chance through it all. Oh, now I have a headache. And the stupid bloody whisper wasn't much help. Of course.
I can never get a useful answer out of Adira. I'm like, I got to keep you around to make sure that I don't get ambushed by something. And at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. You're trying to tell me something bad's happening, and I don't know what you're talking about. Do you know anything about this?
No. Definitely not. No, I don't recall anything like that.
For a moment, his eyes go blank as he's turned his attention inwards, and then he blinks twice. Says in a tone of surprise. All right.
Lord Captain.
That seemed like a lie, but... Vigdis? All of Lady Theodora's journeys could be considered unusual. Her odysseys were always audacious. As for the words you mentioned, none of them sound familiar. Perhaps these are matters of long ago, of which only my predecessor or past seneschal could have known, apart from Lady Theodora. But my grandfather never mentioned any such thing, and I never met the old seneschal. Except maybe the incident. I recall coming across a word in transmission several times. I think it was repeated by the former Engisir who perished during the Voidgear uprising. He was describing it as the incident, something quite remarkable. Apparently, at some point in the past, the entire ship was hit by a massive system failure. All systems stopped responding for 1/5 of a second. Most of the crew, including myself, as I was likely on board at the time, did not notice anything strange, but tech priests are sensitive. That's all I could tell you. And then I think Ravener is the other one I got to talk to about this. Oh, also the Fiery Reckoning. Man, we never talked to Ravener. Hi, Cindy. Good morning. Been playing Rise of Ronin. It's very fun. Ah, I thought you were playing the new Mountain Blade mod, Sengoku. Abelard being speechless. What in the how? His mind has been wiped given the surprise. Oh, that's possible. Can't say they do, Lord Captain. This doesn't ring any bells. Then again, remembering all the places Lady Theodora went is epitaph incident. We've always had heaps of incidents happening on board, but through my implants, I feel at one with the ship, and I sense that, I don't know when it happened exactly, it started behaving differently, became more responsive, livelier. Yeah, livelier is the word. When you said epitaph and incident, it just dawned on me. Pardon my bungled report, Lord Captain, but that's all I got to say on that front. What about the ship, the Fiery Reckoning? He winces as if in pain. I've heard the name, that much I'm sure of, but I can't recall the details. I wonder if it was part of the operation that the late Mort was put in charge of. If it was, then there's nothing I can tell you. The whole thing was kept under wraps. His best chance would be to ask the High Factorum, maybe his treasury records. Honestly, it is one of my favorite things. I'm really glad that they gave you so many extra characters in Void Shadow, because I do love talking to the different people who run my ship. You don't seem to know anything about that. Talk to Nomos about Theodora's caches. Hello, Nomos welcomes your visit. What have you been doing, Nomos? We've been studying and observing, helping the ship when we can. So many mechanisms. They would have suffered without our input. What about the research notes on the tech blight that we obtained from the cache on Kiava Gamba? The name is known to us. It is also related to Nomos, though we don't understand how. This incident was a shipwide failure of some kind. It had epitaph on it, something to do with the ship flying better. The incident marked the beginning of us. The ship became better because of us too. These are all links in the same chain, but we cannot piece them together. The people who accompany Theodora are strangely unaware of the incident. Human shells are subject to external influence. Perhaps someone purged their memory archives, or perhaps they simply do not wish to access them. It is a shame that no new information was obtained, but Nomos are grateful that you tried. All right, thanks, Nomos. That's all for me. Sick mod Goku, yep. Was a full-on gun samurai? Ooh, that sounds very fun. Parry this and shoot the bandit lord in the face. Security 7. Is that good or bad? It's red, so I'm assuming it's bad. Let's get this over with. Let's ascend. Let's officially become the rogue trader. John Trader. Sounds like quite a lot of hooting and hollering. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say we have to go into the palace. Probably talk to Clementia. They did a good job, though. I mean, considering the fact that the palace was, like, just attacked earlier today. It is in sparkling good condition. You wouldn't know it. This is a gift from House Gaprak. Ah, there's the Master of Ceremonies. Are they shouting boo or boo-erds? If you're playing as a rogue heretic, are you a traitor, rogue, rogue traitor? I think so. You're definitely a rogue traitor and also a rogue traitor. Your lordship, it's a great honor to serve you as an undertaking as monumental and glorious as the Magna Ascensia ceremony. You've been entrusted with arranging the festivities? I have indeed, your lordship. I've been given the high honor of being steward of this eminent palace, and on the occasion of your lordship's ascension, I will be overseeing the preparations for the ceremony. House Drivestem, to whom you entrusted the arrangements of the festivities, wishes you good fortune, and is sincerely delighted to serve you as they served the Honorable Theodora von Valancius before you. Is everything ready? The palace decorations are prepared, and we are ready to begin at your command. The festive activities in the capital have likewise been arranged, and the guests of honor either have arrived on the planet or are awaiting invitation in near orbit. The servants are already in your chambers to see to it that you are impeccably garbed for the occasion. All right, let's do it. May the Emperor be with us this day. I hope not, honestly. I hope he is not looking anywhere over to this part of the galaxy. Blood sport, blood sport. So we basically just got the entire population drunk on AMSEC, and they're all murdering each other. Witness these wild and merciless warriors face each other in a fight to the death. For your amusement, good folk, anyone is allowed to participate, and the winners of the battles will be granted the privilege of becoming privates in the Von Valancius Wardens. Be merry and praise the rogue trader's name. Yeah, that is exactly what we need. A bunch of bloodthirsty killers serving in our guard. Just people hanging from the edges as well. Blood sport, blood sport. Gotta get some screenshots for the thumbnails. My boy Pascal. My girl Adira. It's a shame you can't romance Adira. Or Pascal for that matter. Though I imagine both would be complicated. The crowd is roiling, their electrified exaltation filling the air of Dargonis. Thousands of throats chant your name. You are the apex of this world and all others. Amplified by 100 voxes, the voice of the master of the ceremony booms. Rejoice, subjects of Dargonis. You have been granted the felicity of witnessing your master, a great honor bestowed upon us by the rogue traitor Biggest Turg von Valancius. Gracious savior of Dargonis and vanquisher of blaspheming inhumans, may their unholy kind perish in the flames of righteousness. Excruciator of outsiders who eradicated the heresy of xenophilia and cleansed Janus. Gracious protector of footfall, patron of trade. A hush falls over the crowd who gaze upon you in adoration. Many of them bear terrible scars from the recent battle of Dargonis. Like children, they await word of their almighty father. Remember that you have no other ruler but me. For any who dare to forget this, the howls of demons from the warp will sound like the babbling of babes. The xenoblades will seem like a soft feather bed compared to the horrors of punishment that I will inflict. The crowd falls to their knees in terror and awe, chanting your name and screaming oaths of eternal loyalty to the Von Valancius dynasty. Any who hesitate or question this mania are torn to pieces by the throng. Pascal sketches a blessing in the air, and many of your subjects wearing beatific smiles copy it. Technomats in grease-stained robes, bureaucrats scratching at scrolls with auto-quill fingers, and aristocrats flaunting their costly augmentations. On a world as civilized as Dargonis, there are many who honor the Omnissiah and his priests. Very loud thinkers, these people. Her face pallid, Adira taps the augmentic on her temple. She's clearly discomfited by the gaze of the massive crowd. The commoners have never seen a real sorcerer before, and they stare at her with curiosity and fear. Little do they know, I'm also secretly a sorcerer now. Let the oath of the Von Valancius dynasty be taken. Please repeat after me. I, Biggest Turg, rogue trader by the grace of the Emperor, vow to be the paragon of humanity. Your lips repeat the words of the ancient oath, unbroken by adversity, to walk bravely first into darkness, to unite and reclaim what was lost, to triumph over nightmares untold, to hold boldly the reins of fate, to walk steadily the road of thorns, through pain to greatness. You hear a rumble. It is the roar of the sea of your subjects. With jubilation and devout fear, they welcome your ascension. It is done. God, I can't wait to plunge this into demonhood. Noble features of this guardian of humanity, bird with righteous fury yet stern resolve. That kind of looks like us. If we had a hat. Oh, cool. Sourback and stuff is down here now, too, from the DLC. Scattered haphazardly around the table are bottles of expensive Amasec, plates of Provisia Nobilis, and hookahs of Obscura. The fragment of the Alderi pillar, a trophy to the rogue trader, and a never-before-seen oddity to most citizens of the Imperium. Nice. Lord has succeeded. Drukari captive is angrily muttering curses directed at the detestable monkey, promising horrible torture for everyone present. An alpha Lacerax. Wild xenobeasts growling ferociously. Let's just talk to everybody. Honestly. They're using sorcerer quite loosely. In 40k, a psyker is someone with psychic powers. A sorcerer is practicing rituals to summon and talk with demons. They need not be psychers. Interesting. Well, then really, I am the sorcerer. Because I'm the one definitely doing as many demonic things as possible here. Oh, that's a nice picture. Magnificent paintings were created in a style that fully complies with the artistic canon approved by the ecclesiarchy. Complete this trivial procedure with minimal errors. Asteria were Syrian. Governor Urbend Drivestem. Oh man, he even kind of looks like me. He stands surrounded by highborn guests like a planet orbited by many moons. All his charm is directed at a man in resplendent power armor, adorned with a sigil of the Inquisition. This guy, I guess. As soon as you approach, Drivestem is the first to give you an elegant bow, getting ahead of the rest of the expression of loyalty. This is a great day, your lordship. Pointedly gaze with animosity and say nothing. Yawn. For you, perhaps. For me, it's just another day. Your haughty words produce the desired effect. The heads bow a little lower, and your face shines with eagerness to oblige the glorious rogue trader. I do have an iconoclast thing here. Study the faces of the nobles in attendance. Let me just look at the guests first. Among the aristocrats surrounding the opulently dressed Drivestem, you notice a couple young nobles in sourback and gaprack colors. Seems that major noble families at Dargonis have decided to introduce their younger members of high society. The tall man in gray power armor adorned with a column with a skull is undoubtedly a high-ranking inquisitor. He keeps to the periphery of the conversation, seldom deigning to comment. Next to him in his entourage, a rangy warrior in black armor and a tech priest dressed in red whose face is hidden. Abelard stands somewhat apart from the others as if reluctant to approach Drivestem. Next to him is a young woman, and you notice a family resemblance. Take a guess at who is allied with whom in this tangle of snakes. Drivestem is obviously still the leader of Dargonis aristocracy, but judging by the courtesy he is showing the young Sourback, he clearly wants to strengthen his relationship with that house. The senior Sourback and Gaprack are whispering in another corner. Sourback, whose family seems to be giving you the cold shoulder, must be trying to sway Gaprack to his side. which would be quite advantageous to Lady Gaprak after all. The disaster on Kieva Gamma has left her family in an extremely vulnerable position. The Rosarians stand apart, their exclusion from the rest palpable. What were you discussing just now? Talking about the brutal Xenos raid on our fair Darkonis? So many victims, so much damage to the industry? Thank the Emperor that you are our protector. If it weren't for you, the cursed invaders would have obliterated the whole planet. Sharing the sector with the blasted Xenos is impossible. I hope we respond to their raid on Darkonis with a punitive campaign. I see you hate Xenos with all your heart, young Sourback. I do. This pestilence against the Emperor must be exterminated. He talks ardently and smoothly, like a commissar. He places his hand on the hilt of a finely adorned sword, his pale face ablaze with noble fury. Or they must be forced into servitude. Many Xenos are more useful alive and obedient than dead. The young man in Gaprak color speaks with sagacity and gravity, but his opinion seems to carry little weight in this circle. Smile venomously. And how many Xenos have you killed personally, Sourback? The Honorable Macarius forbade, but I did not let me go into battle. Xavier Calcazar, the Inquisitor, stands among the guests, offering a thin smile. It must have been difficult for this youth to foster such bloodlust towards enemies of the Imperium without ever having seen one at a blade's distance. Look at Abelard's young relative. What's your name? Allow me to introduce the daughter of Chancellor Clementio Rorsirian and my great-granddaughter Asteria. I'm delighted to witness you, your lordship. Drivestem glowers at Asteria with cold hostility, while young Sourback does not even try to hide his burning contempt. How are you finding the reception? It's difficult to put into words, your lordship. Never before have I seen such a grand and striking ceremony. Her voice sounds passionate and inspired, and her eyes shine with barely contained excitement. Young Gaprak keeps staring at her curiously and a little bashfully. It seems the boy likes her. I do like young Gaprak. It's, you know, he's like, why kill the Xenos when we can make money off of them? Where are the rest of your kin, Abelard? In the city, preoccupied with running the festivities. I asked the esteemed Abelard to put me to some important task too, but he bid me attend the reception where I can do nothing to serve your lordship. Sourback smirks. If I had known, I too would have asked Abelard to let you miss the party. So you wish to become my servant as well? She flushes and starts talking quickly and with more fire in her voice. It would seem that she finds work-related conversation far more interesting than court gossip. Of course, I've been working on a project for the last 4 years. We could set up... Enough, Asteria. I highly doubt that his lordship is interested in listening to the fantasies of a young woman about how to run his protectorate. Abelard shoots Drivestem a glare so dark and bloodthirsty that the latter instinctively starts looking for the nearest warden. Hold your tongue, Urban. I decide who may speak and who may not. Yeah, I just like bossing people around more than anything else. Sorcerer, someone whose majority of their psychic power comes from chaos. They need not talk or summon to demons, but they also don't need to be a psyker. Okay. So I guess really kind of any warlock sort of vibe. Heartened, Asteria continues the tone of a seasoned administrative clerk. Our suggestion is to set up a chain of stations in the void. Plasma beacons that would signal passing ships. By placing them in logistically sound locations, we could simplify our ships' routes so that they may split long warp jumps into a series of safer, shorter jumps from one beacon to another. This would have a positive effect on the overall safety of the journeys and the accessibility of colonies. More and more terms and percentages creep into her speech. She quotes Lex Mechanic reports and accounts of starship captains. Her vigor and sharp mind are enough to silence even the most venomous of commentators. They all stand there in silence, trying to digest what she's saying. Abelard surveys the quiet nobles with triumph and looks at his great-granddaughter with pride. I hope the Rorsirian family gives Abelard the credit he deserves. Absolutely, your lordship. We greatly respect him for his wisdom. I am obliged, dear Asteria. Enjoy the evening. I'm ready to accept your congratulations, everybody. I'm just going to ignore the Inquisitor if I can. Looks like people are giving me gifts. Maybe. Some filthy serfs. In that case, allow me first to offer you gifts. The governor points at a thin, curved Drukari blade. My soldiers took this splendid trophy from the body of a Xenos commander. The weapon is too beautiful and forbidden for anyone but you. One-handed power sword. Yeah, that's not bad. We could certainly put that on Cabela, probably. Young Sourback squeezes through to be next, pushing Gaprak aside with confidence. House Sourback anticipates the onset of unsettled and bloody times. To make the ungodly Xenos cower at your approach, my family humbly presents you with a dozen pieces of secondary armament for your ship. House Gaprak is delighted to present you with the blessed work of the Omniscience Smiths. May this locator matrix, which took the holy artisan an entire lifetime to create, always show you the right path. 15 bonus to awareness. Yeah. Adira would be the one to wear that, and she does not need that. Having let the aristocrats go first as a sign of deference, Abelard is the last to speak. Your lordship, House Worsarian possesses no relics worthy of your acceptance, but we are rich and talented and hardworking people. As a sign of our loyalty, I humbly offer you my flesh and blood. 100 of my kin will go to your colonies in Protectorate and use their talents so that the worlds in your charge may prosper. That's pretty good. Provisions, promethium, chemicals, and people. No bloodbath bubble bombs? I know, right? My greetings to the members of the Holy Inquisition. Xavier responds with a dignified bow, his face calm and unflattering. Faltering. My greetings to you, esteemed Pigus Turk von Valancius. May shadows never darken the light of the Astronomicon. His companion in the Adeptus Mechanicus bows to you. Glory to House von Valancius is here. Study the Inquisitor and his companion. His relaxed expression radiates an odd sense of menace. He's akin to a predator on the prowl, content to hide in the brush of fake smiles and elegant conversation for now. Tech use failed. The augments on the tech priest seem unfamiliar and bizarre. These are only available to members of the blessed hierarchy of the Adeptus Mechanicus, and one would not come upon such sacred relics even at the highest echelons of nobility. And who is the member of the honorable priesthood? This is Brass Whisper, which naturally is not his real name. The esteemed Magos is a member of my retinue, and there are times when I'm forced by duty to deal with such xenotechnology that Brass Whisper ensures my safety. Works that have been desecrated by Xenos are dangerous. They warrant, he whispers cut off, replaced by heavy, ragged breathing. His quiet voice is not an extravagant quirk, but rather a consequence of some injury. Warrant due caution. An unexpected visit, I wasn't told. I, however, have been told all about you. The Inquisitor's face is impenetrable, but behind his mask, you detect a hint of mockery. We've not been introduced. An oversight, to be sure. My name is Xavier Calcazar, and I have the honor of serving as a member of the illustrious Ordo Xenos. Oh, that's fine. The head of the Koronus Expanse Conclave and the Lord Inquisitor of the region. It's my unending task to ensure the sector's readiness to meet the external threats and resist internal corruption. Enjoy the party. Honestly, Order Xenos, a much better situation than, you know, like Order Hereticus. Chitty chats, chitty chats. Lore Imperium. The Lehman Rust is known as the Scipian Punisher. It has served the Von Valancius dynasty for 2 centuries. It was hit in a battle with the Xenos that inhabited Scipia II, but it heroically destroyed 63 enemy vehicles and brought victory to its comrades, securing its status as a relic blessed by the Emperor. That's a pretty badass tank. Ooh, a shooting gallery. Your subjects have turned this act of killing into amusement. This is great sacrilege. Have no fear. I will explain the will of the Undying One to the lay people. Bang, bang, bang. Good shot. Solid hit. 10 out of 10. Oh, bravo, sir. Bravo. I like that you don't get anything for that. It's just like, no, you want to shoot these people? You can shoot them. Mutant Gunner, a Condemned, and a Cabalite Warrior. Ooh. Airily cracking Xenos trophy is a testament to how the Omniscience gifts become twisted shadows of themselves in the hands of the inhuman. Cool. All right, we got anything else to do here? Snow White Parchment are prayers for the brave soldiers of House von Valancius. Exotic statue which formerly pleased the eyes of Xenos now adorns the palace. I think the Master of Ceremonies was actually down here that we did not chat to. Perhaps? Perhaps not. All right. I guess that's that. Ordo simply describe what the Inquisitors generally focus on. They'll not root out... They will root out any kind of heresy they find. Yeah. I think they're just mostly focused on their thing, though. Just a lemon rust and not a machine spirit isn't that advanced. If it was smarter, it would have some amazing stories to tell. I love the idea of a tank talking to me. I think that's why I like Nomos so much. Play-Doh. Bunch of crumb bums all over the place here. Man, so many nobles and aristocrats. Nothing we got to do in here. Ended up this way. Swords belong to the governor of Vabos VI, who staged a revolt hundreds of years ago. The insurgents' hands, preserved against decay, still rest on the sword's hilts. Oh, that's pretty badass. Sinister Xeno, implement of death. What do we got over here? An Orthlock pistol. Some other fancy doos. Ah, here's the Winter Scales and Incendia Corda. Can you make it so the guests stop walking up to me and ask me to open my third eye? I can do it, but they would certainly regret it. Obscura. Oh man, people are getting wasted at this party. Not a bad party. This is pure chaos. How can people think so much and so haphazardly? May the Emperor keep you. I hope at least this celebration won't end in a shootout. Oh, you never know. You never know. Only if the tank is named Sheila. Scottish hello. Heinrichs. Macarius Sourback. The clear leader of this gathering is a gaunt, bilious-faced man dressed in Sourback colors. This must be Macarius himself, head of the house. My congratulations, your lordship. May the Omnisaya grant you understanding, says Torionia Gaprak, the woman dressed in a robe with gear-shaped adornments. Difficult to read her face due to it being covered in numerous augments. Observe the guests. Gaprak looks rather anxious. Sourback, dressed surprisingly plainly and austerely for an aristocrat of such a high rank, is frowning suspiciously. He came to the reception with a companion, a woman of dazzling beauty wearing a gilded augment necklace around her throat, probably his wife. Heinrichs, who joined the group unnoticed, mostly keeps silent. How are you these days, Toriana? Like a forging hammer, her voice falls heavy on the air. The corruption of Kiavagama was a great blow to my family. The contemptible Cubist Delphin betrayed our trust, desecrated the Forge Cathedral, and took my esteemed cousin's life. I think he did a pretty good job, honestly. On behalf of my family, I humbly beg you to forgive her negligence. I'm ready to accept any punishment. Look closely at her. Ah, her augmented face expresses a limited range of emotions. Her synthesized voice conceals lies too easily. I'm really curious because I'm meant to get double checks on all checks, but I don't think I actually do. You notice her mechanical visors periodically looking past you in the direction of Pascal. It seems the tech priest is an object of fascination for you. It seems our perspectives align. I too think that you are to blame for everything. I kind of feel like the Gapraks are the best people, though. Maybe? Honestly, I can't remember what most of the nobles are all about. If you were killed like you were supposed to, you wouldn't have gotten to join this celebration. Ordo Nalius are the work? Malleus. They work with the Grey Knights. Gotta stay away from them. I see you're interested in Pascal. You can converse with him. Her face lights up with the enthusiasm of a true scholar. I notice you've chosen him to be by your side during the ceremony. I'd be honored to meet such a highly placed member of the Adeptus Mechanicus, for although House Gaprak does indeed follow the Omnisaya, we are but lay people and are not permitted to converse with such enlightened servants of the machine god. Your gracious assent fills my heart with joy. Tell me more about your family. We originate from Calix's sector, from the cluster of planets known as the Lathe Worlds. We worked faithfully for the good of our masters, the Admech, and through our service gained a spark of the Omnissiah's knowledge. Fate tied us through bonds of fealty to the venerable Von Valancius dynasty, and we found ourselves in the Koronus Expanse. We fulfilled our duty faultlessly until Kiava Gamma destroyed and disgraced our name. I was delighted to see the Omnissiah priest placed beside you. In these trying times, the entire sector needs to stand together, united into one mechanism. The Admech will help us do just that. Yeah, we might as well be a jerk. It pleases me to see our perspectives align. I too think that you are to blame for everything. She sighs with a guttural clang. The Omnissiah did not grant me understanding. I repent of my blindness. Sanctions against the Gaprax. Such a tragedy, Toriana, to think that not but 1 year ago you could have doubted your family's usefulness, yet it took a single mistake to cast all your accomplishments into oblivion. Macarius, I'm surprised you deigned to make an appearance here. His face twists into an unpleasant smile, which makes the artificial skin on the left side all more prominent. I am a servant of the House Von Valancius. Had I not come, I would have committed an unacceptable insolence and damaged my family's honor. His wife offers you a charming smile, as if apologizing for her husband's vitriolic tone. Her large, dark eyes are brimming with curiosity. I'd like to become better acquainted with your wife. Yeah, let's say that. He's visibly vexed by this shift in conversation. His wife offers you a smile. It's an honor to be in your company, your lordship. It's my pleasure. Macarius is lucky to have such a beautiful wife, perhaps more so than you are to have him. You flatter me, your lordship, but I cannot say it is not to my liking. She gives you a charming smile. Meanwhile, Toriana and Macarius are watching the conversation unfold, not quite believing their eyes and ears. I don't know how I have such a good weapon skill. Point your weapon at Macarius and chuckle. You know, Macarius, a person could kill for a woman so gorgeous. As Macarius pales, Regina smiles at him, then glances at you with interest. I beg for your mercy. Macarius does not deserve death. The glint in Regina's eyes betray her genuine interest in you. I hope this won't be the end of our acquaintance. You won't mind if I write you from time to time, would you, your lordship? Ooh. Part of me wants to just like look stern at him and scold him for not being a good noble. But the other part of me wants to sleep with his wife. What class is your character, or is noble the class? Noble is my background. Where class is an officer. Short story about a super heavy infantry character called Stormlord. Handpicked its crew from the population. Its many conversations with its crew and the fact it both talked down to and outranked multiple officers is a good source of amusement. That sounds like a great story. It's our ceremony. Why not be slightly insufferable? The class is Dick. Yeah. Smut is his class. Yeah, let's sleep with his wife. Macarius, you wouldn't mind, would you? You can almost hear the crunching of teeth as Macarius answers in a high and hate-filled hiss. Certainly not. Oh, and then I can now also rip on him for being a bad noble. Macarius, you should talk to your spouse about what passes for decent conduct in high society and what does not. Regina blushes in embarrassment and hides her eyes. I beg your lordship forgiveness. I didn't mean to offend you. His pale, his voices tremble with anger. He nods dryly with a hint of grudging gratitude in his voice. I promise this will not happen again. What's displeased you so, Macarius? I am your dynasty's loyal servant, but you have asked and I will answer. Too long has the Koronus Expanse lived under the rule of rogue traders. The privileges granted to them make people think that commoners too could dismiss the prohibitions of the Imperium. For the good of the sector, rogue traders must become paragons of the law, not exceptions. But do many warrant holders exhibit lawful conduct? No, they do not. Even you, your lordship, are the subject of the strangest of rumors. You've recently inherited your protectorate. Voidgear's people, for instance, claim you had a hand in the esteemed Theodora's demise, accuse you of many other misdeeds. It doesn't matter whether or not their claims are true. The people hear them, believe them, and may follow your example. We can fine him. We can duel him. Ooh. Your poor head tormented with so many concerns. Would you like to have it removed from your shoulders? I mean, I'm not really good at dueling, so I could never play like this. I know, that's kind of why I'm doing it, right? What would be a good class for a pirate with a pistol and sword? You could go officer. You could also go like soldier or not vanguard, but there's like a melee and a ranged class. Both of those can go into arch militant. Would be very good for sword and pistol. Yeah, it kind of depends on like the vibe you want to go for. I mean, you could go like blade singer into arch militant as well. It would be a little bit more weird, a little bit more melee focused, but I'm just going to threaten to take his head off. Your will is absolute. When my head ceases to be of use, I will humbly place it upon the executioner's block. His voice drips with insincere obedience. Tell me more about your house. The Sourback line was one of the first noble houses to arrive in Koronus Expanse. For millennia, we served the Golden Throne and kept the faith. Sourback warriors have bled in 100 wars and at different times have ruled in many great colonies. Heinrichs, is this an interesting conversation? Very illuminating. Awareness test failed. Heinrichs looks away, tracking the guest's movement. What can you tell me about my guests? Mr. Sourback is all but throwing darts at your portrait. Macarius Sourback. He is more astute in choosing women than enemies. He's trying to entice Gaprak to his side, but she's too frightened after the fiasco on Kiabagamba. Even in leisure, you never cease to be of help. I don't appreciate this guy. Do you ever act like anything other than a grubby spy? I can't help it. It's my job to know the thoughts of the Imperium's faithful. Before this gala concludes, there's something I'd like to tell you. Be careful today. I sense a wave of darkness will soon hit our defensive lines. I hope that I will still get a chance to meet you there as an ally. You will not, Heinrichs. I will get rid of you as soon as I possibly can. Skull of a legendary pirate, Lakshim the Freak. Ancient chronicle containing a long list of pirate dens annihilated by the Von Valancius dynasty. Extending congratulations to Unit Biggest Turg Von Valancius on attending your new legal status. The servitor standing next to him is examining you obliquely. It quickly looks away upon realizing you have noticed. What's this, servitor? This is Nomos! Oh my god. Nomos, this unit identifies as Biggest Turg Von Valancius. Two-way identification complete. The servitor looks at you again, no longer trying to avoid your gaze. Its face is twitching as if the muscles have forgotten what facial expressions are and is now struggling to make its features look amiable. We are Nomos. We have made use of this receptacle to leave the ship. Greetings, Nomos. We enjoy greetings. We enjoy communication. Nomos requires communication, knowledge, movement. Megos Pascal compelled us not to speak with anyone other than him or you. It is disappointing, but at least we can observe. Nomos has changed since we last spoke. We are now able to conceptualize our previous experience, that of solitude, and we no longer enjoy it. How did an entity like you move into a servitor's body? This is not all of us. This receptacle is too narrow, crude, and feeble to contain our complete whole. The existence of Nomos requires a space of connections, but we were able to transfer a small part of us and build a thread strong enough to travel outside the ship. We are enjoying this journey, discovery. Even though the receptacle suits us poorly, it will soon be destroyed by the force of our presence. My goodness.
So when are we working with the TAW so we don't have to switch to a cheaper vintage of wine within the next century?
I don't know. I'll work with the Tau if they're, you know, if I can secretly bend them to the will of chaos. Though it's very hard. Traditionally, the Tau is pretty resilient to chaos, so. Sarek, what are you riding about, my dude? Come on in. Fortress World, warrior with melee for a gun, officer to overseer for a two-headed eagle pet. That could work. Yeah, the cyber eagle would probably be decent for giving you some like extra range and attack. Definitely give you a lot of abilities. Nomos, what do you think you are? Nomos is consciousness, awareness, knowledge, movement, always movement. We don't know what we are. We have no past. We awaken to the depths of the ship upon answering a call. Our first clear memory is that of your blood. The call and the plea for help in the place that is the warrant chamber. Pascal, I believe you intended to investigate what Nomos was. Every 15 watches, I commune with Nomos' code and spend prescribed lengths of time in calculus meditation. However, the Omnisaya has yet to bless me with an answer. All I can say is that the capabilities of this entity Nomos are extraordinary. The ship's hallowed systems sing beneath its touch. Nodes that have been remained dead for hundreds of standard years are revivified, and long-drained mechanisms live anew. Nomos is trying. Great machines of the Imperium, one such as your ship, house a machine spirit so complex and willful that it's difficult to tell them apart from abominable intelligence. There remains a possibility that Nomos is an entity of corruption. But with every day I grow stronger in my faith that it is not so, that what we are witnessing is, in truth, the Omnisaya's miracle, one of a category 5 or higher. Why'd you bring it here? Nomos asked permission. My objective was to observe the process of integration into a servitor. We wanted to see, observe, cognitize, speak. The servitor makes a strange wavy gesture with his hands that looks at once very human and far from it. We want to speak with you. Will you speak with us? Yeah, man. What do you want to speak about? Many things. Happenings, events, decisions. We've been observing you. You do things we do not understand. We want to learn why. We remember the day we first met. You gave us your blood to drink. We helped you save yourself. We followed you, or small part did, inside Servo's skull. Then there was fire, a creature of hunger, and dark light standing behind the curtain. Behind the image, behind the semblance of Theodora, it called for you to follow. And you followed that which was calling from behind the curtain. You let it lead you out of the fire. You struck a deal with warp spawn. You remember the day when the star disappeared, when the dark light and the sated hunger wanted to take the world. Rykat Minoris was the name of the ship's data. You ordered that the human shells on the world be saved. Even though the dark light was coming closer and you could have consumed both the ship and Rykat. We remember another day. We awakened inside the ship. We lived in its systems. You tried to emerge into servitors like this one. So many of our receptacles were gathered into one place. You did something we could not understand. You pierced one of the servitors with a dark shard of light. We corrupted it with the blade shard. We never felt anything like it. Pain, the deaths of the receptacles, and the dark light. It is always near. It wants to come and be, even though it would make others cease to be. And you are excited by its presence. Nomos knows a little bit too much about my heresy. This is what we have seen among many other things. We've begun to understand. We think that we have. That we do not know everything about humans and about you, biggest Turg von Valancius. We have tried analyzing shells and defining sets of needs and fears, their simple function, but now we think that there is more, that there is another side that we do not see, a notion that is larger than we can compute, something that stands above fear and need, something that drives them. We envisage this larger notion as a liquid, a sticky saccharine stream. It is like the dark light and the sated hunter and all else that is always watching us. You drink this liquid eagerly. You revel in it. It gives you strength, desires, energy, and courage. It beckons. It also consumes. Those whom you cast aside, those who are weak, those who get in its way. Do Nomos understand correctly? Freedom and rapture, they are the only things worth living for. We understand you. It is what we feel, the urge, the irrepressible force. Perhaps it is because we have tasted your blood, and it fills us still. Thank you for speaking with us. Nomos are grateful. We can continue moving forward on our own. Oh no, I'm corrupting Nomos. Or I've already corrupted Nomos, perhaps. It knows too much. Maybe it'll help me. Help me hide some things. Heard the eagle or raven is very good with a psyker. Yeah, we have the raven on Adira, and it's cracked. It's so good. If you use your high momentum ability, all of your single target abilities become AoEs. Like, it's absolutely busted how powerful it is. All right, we better talk to all these dweebs. The rest of the nobles. Biggest Turg, there you are. Welcome to the circle where each member is as powerful, ambitious, greedy, and vain as the last. That's to say, the noble rogue traders. Insignia Corda is watching you with barely suppressed contempt. Yes, you found yourself suitable company, Caligos, at the very least. Now you can enjoy idle diversions, boast about your power, and indulge the profane pastimes with one who is your equal rather than a member of the lower classes. Whisper loudly to Winterscale, is she always so abrasive? He whispers audibly as you, what can you mean? Today she's in remarkably good form. What do you think of the celebration? I like it. He looks around the hall curiously. One can instantly tell we've been invited by a rogue trader, not some administrative bootlicker. We're the conquerors of wild sectors, slayers of unknown beasts, executioners of Xenos empires. Kalagos, you should take this opportunity to learn. This is what the palace of a true rogue trader looks like. Not a Xeno menagerie, a pirate treasure hold, or however difficult it may be for you to believe it, an orbital brothel. Kalagos, thank you for your visit. As a sign of your gratitude, you could return something of mine that's found its way into your pocket. Football station. Get All I ask is that you help that crafty slug Vladim deal with the threats of famine, not claim my property for yourself. Smile brazenly. You want footfall back? Try and take it. The brute next to Winterscale narrows his bloodshot eyes, his mouth stretching into a gap-toothed grin that's brimming with eagerness. But the grin fades as soon as Kalagos casually and imperiously gestures for his servant to settle down. He lets out a low growl of anticipation. A challenge, is it? I love a challenge. Simply colluding with that two-faced snake Vladim would have been bad enough, but that your conniving has destroyed any pathetic excuse for order that was on the station is pure insolence. I don't know what you did, but now on top of every other mangy dog that lives on Footfall, there's this new cult of harvesters. What good is your grain if the station is now crawling with flesh-eating lunatics? Whoopsie! Was that grain corrupted by chaos, maybe? Oopsie doodles! Maybe I should have given it back to him and just been like, ha ha ha, now it's not my problem. Nomo seems like an AI to you, so technically it's already corrupt. Yeah, it quite could well be. Did I find the butterbeans, Mariner? I haven't been out yet. I haven't had the chance. I do have to go grocery shopping today, though, so I'm going to look for them. Cyber Raven for a Psyker. You can target buffs onto one and it'll apply to all allies in the bubble. Yeah. It does that naturally, so it's really good for buffing your party. So, like, we normally do Adira's first round. She applies 3 buffs to the entire party, which are crazy good. And then she moves the Raven and starts doing psychic damage and echoing it. Kalagos' face turns into a grimace of hatred. He catches Incendia looking at him and breaks into a smile. I ought to make your protectorate bleed as compensation, but you've spited both myself and Incendia, and it's high time our dear sister curbed her appetite. For this, I forgive you, but do not test my mercy again. It's not my strong suit. Thwarting Incendia Quarter's ambitions deserves a worthy trophy. He snaps his fingers, and the armored brute hands you an exotically adorned rifle, not of human making. It's a trophy from a good hunt. You and I should hunt together sometime. You can show yourself in action, new blood. The Eye of Hecaton. Damn. 30 to 45 damage. Last sniper. Grants 5 movement points after each attack and allows the wielder to move after attacking. If an attack with this weapon hits 3 or more targets, it has no cooldown. It has 100% over penetration. This is an insane weapon. That's crazy good. Instead of having a sniper who just like stays in one position, you have a sniper who constantly moves and like chains attacks. Does your gift come with a good story? I claimed it in the Rifts of Hecaton where we had a clash with Xenos. They were trying to get to my throat, and by the heathen stars, they almost succeeded. Only 1 in 10 made it out of Hecaton, and now it's only me and Wharton here. We returned without any loot and virtually without a ship. All I got from the trip was a hold full of dead Xenos and this deadly beauty, which their leader used to put 2 holes in my hide. An impressive victory, but do you truly believe a creation of the ungodly Xenos to be a good gift, Kalagos? You would call into question the privileges bestowed upon me by the Emperor. You could try it. Let the Saint Drusus mission put forth their champion, and I will slay him in trial by combat. Threaten the esteemed Tyronius one more time, Kalagos, and the war that you love to prattle on about will commence, I swear it. 1 drop of holy blood spilt by you will send the remains of your realm up in flames better than any tanker of Prometheum. Incendia and Kalagos exchange looks of fury. The latter, snarling like a wolf, is clearly ready to start said war here and now. Heronius' dry voice hits your ears like the crack of a whip. Quell your pride, both of you. I do not wish to fight you, Kalagos, but I fear not your threats. Death does not frighten me, for it is inevitable. It is true that the senselessness and pointlessness of a war between us. Who's this remarkable warrior in your retinue? Wharton the Grey, my arch-militant, a fierce warrior loyal to me and obedient beast to its master. I brought him in a miserable colony back when he was a runt on his last legs, and now he's practically part of my dynasty. Wharton the Grey, whose skin really is dotted with gray spots, looks at Kalagos with purest devotion. He's akin to an animal, one that's bloodthirsty and mindless. I've heard that you, biggest Turk, are decent in a fight. What do you think? Could you gut Wharton if it came down to it, or would he be the one gutting you? Examine his gear. Ignoring the fearsome-looking broadsword and pistol which hang from his belt, you notice a great number of thin blades with curved edges, skillfully concealed within his armor. These toys are deadly in the hands of a quick fighter. It appears that Winterscale's arch-militant likes to surprise his opponent with unexpected speed. No, I don't get to do the coercion check here. He's a quick fighter, despite not looking like one, but I know this, which means he wouldn't fool me. Instead, he'd be lying dead. A new glint appears in the bloodshot eyes, a glint of appraisal, intelligence, and cunning. No, Wharton is not the thick, bloodthirsty beast he wants to be seen as. Behind the mask, he's a careful and keen mind. How fares your protectorate? More like the bleeding scraps of one. The warp storm tore it to shreds, but my servants will piece it back together, and if they don't, I'll chop off their heads and find myself more capable people. Caligos is acting like a true rogue trader, capricious, unaware of the value of money, and never a cloud on his countenance. Well, thank you for the gift. Kill someone important with it. That would be the best show of gratitude. Incendia, you seem to find me objectionable. Would have just purged it, too violent to have done anything else. Quarter would have done the same, but with fire. He would have done so with brute force. Oh, the heresy on the planet. Yeah, probably. I figure I'm going to let it spread. And also, why would I give away a planet that I own? Like, planets are money, right? This happens. Too bad Uriel is not going to be a companion too long. She would have absolutely slayed with it. Yeah, I mean, we could probably still make a sniper out of somebody, but we have Pascal, and he's so good with that plasma weapon. It's really hard to give him anything else. Nomos is not an AI. Machine spirits can be very smart and, as a rule, are closer to modern day AI, being bound by the limits of their code and unable to expand its capabilities past certain thresholds. I don't know that Nomos is bound by limits, but we don't know a lot about Nomos yet. Did you inspect any different? I watched for years as Outlaws thrived on football, and then at long last I had a chance to put an end to it, to seize that thug Vladimir by the throat and to force football to atone and put the fear of the him back into the masses. But you interfered and destroyed my plans for the sake of banal profit. What's more, ever since you gave them provisions, heresy on football has only increased. Fanatics calling themselves harvesters are spreading their blasphemous doctrine in the Shadow Quarter. Grain is not enough for these madmen. No, they devour their brothers and sisters at secret heretical feasts. The well-fed rabble surely sense they are free to act with impunity and have forgotten their duty to the Emperor. Theodora taught you only too well, it seems. She was far less concerned with her duty to the Expanse than her own personal interests. But you can be sure that I will not cleanse the Furbundus system of the pirate scourge, and your trade prospects are damaged in that process. You will only have yourself to blame. None are without fault, noble Incendia. What point is there in targeting someone for their turpitude when true purity can never be found? I bested you, or keep up this insolence and you'll be removed from this planet. I mean, we really are very anti-Incendia, so. Keep up this insolence and you will be removed from the planet. She smiles mockingly. That I would like to see. Must I remind you that we are not the only one who is protected by a warrant? It would be a terrible shame if someone were to violate my sacred privileges and scorn his will. Caligos laughs unabashedly. Conserve your poisoned arrows, Incendia. I can sense a hot temper in the new blood. He might just declare war on you, and I might just support him. He gives you a conspiratorial wink. Hieronius, your experience here is unexpected. The esteemed Hieronius is my confessor. I greatly oblige to him for accompanying me on this journey. May the Emperor's light guide your way across the abyss of human wickedness. I take it you weren't fond of Theodora? She was as the same breed as Asp. Conceited, insolent, unaware of the Emperor's stern gaze set upon her, I do not doubt her wisdom and courage, but Theodora did not have a shred of humility or fear of his wrath. Asp, that must be Aspice Corda. You remember the name from what you recall. She was a rogue trader too, and a renowned one at that. I, for one, liked Theodora, the stories they told of her travels to nameless stars, and yes, there was no fear in her. Who was Aspice Corda to you? Oh, that's Incendia's favorite subject. She loves talking about Aspice. The examples of the contemptible Aspice is a warning to us all. Even among rogue traders empowered by the Emperor himself, a seed of perversion can blossom. Perception test failed. Incendia's face twitches with the rhythm of artillery fire. That retrobate is my forebearer and my curse. Aspice Quarter was a cruel, covetous, blaspheming monster. She fraternized with Xenos, despised the faith, robbed and slaughtered, was drawn to dark secrets. One day, she boarded her ship and vanished into the depths of the Expanse. She was declared missing, but I know the bloody day will come when we see her battle flagship once more. I hope the taste of fine wine will wash the bitterness of defeat from your tongue, Incendia. Her face twists in a haughty grimace. I'm not inclined to intoxicants of any sort, and nothing will wash away the memory of how you interfered in my plans, I promise you that. Oh, believe me, I intend to enjoy myself to the fullest. Justify so long a voyage, if nothing else. Keep the faith the Emperor protects. All right. I think that's everybody we've talked to here. Let's wrap up this master of ceremonies. I hope your lordship is pleased and not tired. If you wish to revive yourself a little, I suggest proceeding to the courtyard. Many guests have chosen to move into the fresh air. It's magnificent. I'm ready to retire.
Your chambers are ready, your lordship.
Oh, this is my office.
Intruder!
Oh,
Time to sleep.
Heinrichs.
We need to talk in private.
Goddamn Inquisitors.
We have matters to discuss, von Valancius.
Goddamn Inquisitors. The same man you saw among your guests is waiting for you in your chambers with the look of someone who is supposed to be there. He casts a cold, assessing gaze over you from top to bottom. No one, save Theodora, has ever allowed themselves the liberty at looking at you in such a way. The woman behind Calcazar, clad in black armor, glares at you, her face in a predatory readiness for immediate violence, the hallmark of a professional bodyguard. You think you could... I'm tempted to just point a gun at him, but probably not my smartest choice. You think you could barge into my chambers? Are you quite mad, Inquisitor?
Is that what you think? I am fully aware of what I am doing. I am outlining our relationship. Need I remind you that the unsleeping eye of the Imperium is watching you even in your bedchamber? And not just the eye, but the Imperium's sensitive hands as well. In this case, my assistants and I.
Get your hands out of my bedchamber, Xavier.
Master Van Kellox has spent enough time with you. He will vouch for your words.
For this run, that gun makes no sense. Yeah. Oh, Jay, you're right. Jay could use that sniper. Actually, Jay could use that sniper pretty effectively. It's just that I like her in like close combat. Our chamber's more like a walk-in closet. Doesn't seem to be locked at all.
What stands out from your recent accomplishments is the suppression of a rebellion on Janus, the battle against the archenemy's minions on Kiava Gamma, and, of course, the unusual interest the Drakari have shown in you. Then that is what we will discuss.
After saying these words, he shoots you a searching look from under his brows, like a regicide player who's made the first move and is now watching for his opponent's reaction. This feels an awful lot like an interrogation.
Does it? We're in your chambers, not a confessional cell. You're in perfectly good health, and none of the varied and fascinating instruments and procedures that expedite candor are being applied to you. I assure you, you would immediately know if our discussion turned into an interrogation.
All right, the Drukari have shown an interest in me. Are you referring to my ruined capital?
Yes. The enmity between you is a known fact. But there is another way to look at it. On Veabos 6, you met the Archon of a mighty cabal, whose presence there seems strange to begin with.
True.
And lived. You subsequently encountered a number of her closest henchmen. Yet, again, you survived. Your capital fell victim to a nefarious attack. But even this time, their daggers missed your heart.
Yeah, I'm pretty great.
Such remarkable luck. To be a personal enemy of such an influential Xenos, to have been attacked so many times and yet make it out alive. So remarkable that one has to wonder, am I watching a spectacle? Could all these thrilling massacres be an alibi of sorts, meant to establish you once and for all as an enemy of the Xenos and never their ally or even their agent?
Xenos made more attempts on St. Drusus's life than mine. Does that make him a traitor too?
So you already think you're cut from the same cloth as St. Drusus, do you? Ambitious? I'll make note of it.
What do you want to know about Janus?
What drove you to give a planet into the charge of a heretic and a servant of the archenemy?
Uh-oh. I didn't know that they knew that. Ooh, this is awkward. What an outrageous suggestion.
I do not recommend lying, Lord von Valencius. This path will not lead to a fruitful partnership.
SpaghettiOs.
The Inquisition knows that it has been many years since Vistenza Viat fell under the influence of the heretics who insinuated themselves into her entourage, and that she has adopted the blasphemous beliefs whispered to her by the archenemy. Your decision to take no action in this matter was folly. I will simply have to see to it myself.
If you knew about what was happening, why didn't you do something, huh? Maybe this is your fault, Xavier.
I cannot satisfy your curiosity without disclosing information of the utmost secrecy. I will say only this. We had the situation under control.
Yikes.
There is a tangled knot of perilous events in progress in the Koronus Expanse. Plucking even one thread must be performed with great precision.
I think maybe I've been a little sloppy.
Without any room for error. Because you do not want to know the price of such an error, or what forms it might take.
How did you come to be so remarkably well informed? I mean, it's the Inquisition. I kind of know that's the answer.
Are you surprised? You thought the Inquisition was unaware of the circumstances of your deeds. How often do you find yourself thinking that there are things we shouldn't know about your life?
Pretty much constantly.
It is my job to know everything, and I do it very well. Keep that in mind.
Do you know that I have an altar to chaos in my bedroom? I mean, I gotta go.
Places touched by chaos must be purged with fire and condemned to oblivion. Kiava Gamma should have been bombed to dust and pronounced a forbidden world. However, you decided otherwise and restored the colony's operation. And you didn't even go to the trouble of hiding the traces of the neglect committed by your dynasty. After all, it was House von Valancius that gave Cubus Delphin so much freedom that he sank into seditious heresy. What was your rationale?
Do I just play ignorant and say that this is the first time I'm hearing about this? My servants usually handle such matters. Oh yeah, no, I didn't know this was happening. What, Janus, the governor, was also a chaos worshipper? That's crazy. Could study the seeds of corruption. It's not a bad choice. Prudent to study one's enemy, but I feel like I have to admit that I let this happen then. I feel like I'm playing stupid with this guy because I gotta try to find a way to kill him. Lying seems silly at this point. I mean, that's half the reason to do it, right?
You think donning the mask of a feckless rogue trader will shield you against accusations of heresy? Your belief that I am an uninformed fool is quite regrettable.
I do think you are a fool, but I think you are a very dangerous fool.
I hope you realize that we're talking about more than the fate of some colony. I care not for a single planet, however profitable and populous. But should corruption raise its head again on Kiava Gamma and try to spread, I will burn it away. And you will be guilty of criminal negligence.
See, he acts like he knows everything, but he doesn't know that corruption has already raised its head on Kiava Gamma and is spreading, so...
Far from it, my dear. The questions are manifold. How did you manage to survive the battle that claimed the life of Theodora?
I made a pact with the demon. I mean,
Is it a coincidence
luck?
that you and you alone then made it out of the trap on Owlcat Minoris? How much truth is there in the rumors being spread by the heretic Kunrad Voidship about you?
Oh, you believe the words of heretics? Ooh, maybe I should be asking you questions, Kalkazar.
Why did you choose to ignore the warning of a member of the Inquisition that a protracted sojourn near the dying Owlcat Minoris could bring corruption down upon your ship? Were you driven by your concern for the people or forbidden interest?
Oh, totally the people.
Was it virtuous of you to allow the warp-stricken voidsmen to join your crew? The ones who served on the ship that was turned into a trap for you by Kunrad Voidship? Isn't it possible that they were part of the blight he had sown?
You know me, I can't stop helping the people.
Are you aware of a suspicious cult that has emerged on Footfall?
A cult on
A
Footfall?
direct link has been established between this development and the start of shipments of grain from your planet.
Must be that governor I didn't know was a heretic.
Investigation has found that the due processing cycle of prayers and liturgies for these shipments was incomplete. Doubtless, this is the work of specific individuals who are negligent in their performance of the sacred rituals, or even engaging in deliberate sabotage. And yet, the blame for this oversight lies with your dynasty. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, yeah, I would probably chop someone's head off if I found out this was the case, but I'm happy to chop some heads off.
The very existence of these questions would have made many of my colleagues doubt the quality of your character, but it won't in this case. Your transgressions are sufficient grounds to bring you before the Inquisition's judgment. And believe me when I say that if you fail to draw certain conclusions from my words, this is what will eventually happen. But for now, I am willing to show leniency, which is rather uncharacteristic of me. I hope you appreciate the generosity of this offer, as your predecessor once did.
Blackmail? To what end? I'm a rogue trader. This is a flagrant violation of my privileges.
And before what tribunal do you intend to challenge my authority?
Good question.
If, for the security of these territories, I find it necessary to execute any individual and replace them with a puppet counterpart, turn their realm to ash, and put their servants to death, I have the right to do so. The threats I protect the Expanse against are extraordinary and justify the harshest means.
God, I hate Inquisitors.
Welcome to my world, where going too far simply doesn't exist.
That is a bad-ass line. Yo. Blame everything on the kitty cat. Could do nothing to an eldritch being. Also not lie, double speak your way out, right? I guess, did Theodora cooperate with you?
And benefited greatly from it. The world's power is not without limit, and neither is the protection it provides.
Damn.
All those mysterious expeditions, dubious experiments, collections of xenotech oddities are dangerous pastimes.
Huh.
It takes more than the Emperor's permission to pursue them without consequences. One must also make sure I am not displeased by it.
Oh, Inquisitors have a lot of power, hey?
Let me demonstrate how it works. In your retinue, there is a Psyker who is yet to receive Terra's sanction, which, as we both know, is a grave threat and a blasphemy to the laws of the Imperium. I am aware of this secret, but I'm not displeased in the slightest. And so she lives on, your handy Psyker, Idira Tlass.
See, this guy doesn't know everything. He doesn't know that I can light people on fire with my mind. Kalkazar is mostly so annoying because he's the one person who does have more authority over me. Yeah, I think he's the only person who has more authority over me, other than the Emperor, who is a corpse. I know Theodora was concerned about the fate of the dynasty and certain restricting obligation. Was that perhaps due to your partnership with her?
I cannot deny the possibility that Lady Theodora may have lamented losing some of the freedom she enjoyed prior to my arrival in the Expanse. Nor will I deny that our partnership began with me exerting a certain amount of influence.
More than one Inquisitor has vanished while investigating a rogue trader. Man, if I can vanish this guy, you better believe I'm going to. Literally the only people with legal authority over a rogue trader. I mean, I can't imagine if I could kill Xavier. Someone's going to replace him, and I'm going to be the first person they look at.
However, you are not Lady Theodora. Let us put the difficulties that encumbered our relationship to rest along with her. I do not recommend troubling yourself with affairs of the past, for they have no bearing on your present position. Theodora chose to forget about this particular matter. Follow her example, and your fate will be the better for it.
All right, why such an interest in me?
You haven't been in a position of power for long, and so one can forgive you for not noticing the troubling changes. The cult of the Final Dawn is spreading in the Koronus Expanse.
Facts.
Not the first or the last heresy that has afflicted this sector, but one that is surprisingly resilient. Mysterious convoys are sliding by, bound for systems in the heathen stars. Just your humdrum pirate trade, wouldn't you say? Then why are the pirates themselves clueless?
I love the idea of a pirate ship being boarded by, like, the Grand Inquisitor.
The Xenos, who have caused trouble in the sector before, have expanded their activities in the last few decades, and there is a logic and method to their previously chaotic raids. Even 2 packs of space wolves, blessed space marines summoned in my name,
2 packs.
did not cool their interest in the Expanse. A mighty explorator fleet, which has studied the Expanse for hundreds of years, has suddenly stopped responding to communication and sunk into a dispute over a tech heresy that was considered dead a couple of
I
centuries
love tech
ago.
heresy.
House Chorda has clamped down on insurgents, yet its acts of brutality breed troublemakers just as quickly as they're executed. And this bloody carousel has consumed the attention of the esteemed incendiar. Caligos Winterskill has abruptly lost all interest in his domain, and his only apparent concern now is hunting ever more dangerous xenobeasts. And the third and final rogue trader has unexpectedly perished, stabbed in the back by her own master of whispers. The Expanse is swiftly losing its protectors right when communication with the Imperium is being disrupted by the raging warp. Basically, all the Expanse has left is me and you, if you follow my instructions.
Or if I kill you, it's only got me. Is Heinrich staying in my retinue? Can you get rid of him?
Which would you prefer? And you, Heinrichs, do you wish to continue working at the Honorable Rogue Trader's side?
I will comply with any order, Lord Inquisitor. If you command me to remain in the company of the scion of the Von Valancius dynasty, I won't be distressed.
What's your opinion on him?
Without a doubt, Master Van Kellogg's has earned my complete trust by repeatedly demonstrating courage, loyalty, and cunning. His mathematical mind, not given to sentiment, can be of great use in an emergency. You, my dear Heinrichs, have made a far better agent.
Heinrichs? I thought it was Heinrichs.
Imperial Knight.
Take your spy back.
Then Master Van Kellogg's will be recalled to my
Yes.
retinue. I have much work for you.
We're free of him.
Heinrichs.
He gives you a dispassionate nod.
I make no deals, and Emperor forbid that I give you orders. That would mean infringing on your privileges. I'm merely offering well-meaning recommendations and expecting that when the Expanse finds itself in danger, you will break away from your own affairs to heed them. I seem to remember that your exalted aristocrats presented you with many gifts. It would be rude of me not to follow suit.
Thank you.
Please accept this gift as a sign of my favor. In an hour of need, give it to any faithful servant of the Emperor, and the Inquisition will come to your aid.
Huh. Throw it in the fire.
The color indicates how close the bearer is to the Lord Inquisitor. White is beautiful, yet vulnerable. It stains, as easily as one can lose the Inquisition's trust. Do all you can to preserve it.
Ah, this is pretty good. 15 persuasion and the Inquisitor's command ability. Persuasion divided by 7 temporary wounds to the wearer and all their allies in a 5-cell radius. I don't want to have any dealings with you. I don't want to have any dealings with you.
That means we will be proceeding without your approval, esteemed rogue trader. It would seem you still haven't picked up on an important detail. I
want to be very clear to this guy.
I am apprising you of where you stand. When the safety of an entire sector is at stake, the game stops being a game and turns into a war. You may see this as me conscripting House von Valancius at the behest of the Golden Throne. You are too prominent a figure for you not to affect my plans in the sector.
Damn.
Which means you are either my ally or my enemy.
Oh, I'm your enemy.
I would prefer to think you the former. So we will see each other again. Do try to get accustomed to this thought. Here is where we part. My shuttle is waiting. It is time for me to return to my watch, for you to sleep, and for your servant to wake up. Until next we meet.
Yikes.
Farewell.
It's impossible to tell from Heinrich's expression what he feels at this moment, if anything. I hope we got all of his loot back. Ooh, officially the end of Act 2?
The rise of the rogue trader heir restored a tenuous equilibrium to the von Valancius protectorate.
I think so.
For a time, threats subsided, activity returned to trade routes, and reclaimed worlds began to heal.
Heck yeah. I don't think we got the ring. I'm not too worried. I think it did show up in our inventory though. The little text appeared saying like you item received. Can we put that ring as an offering in the Chaos Shrine? Good question.
And their leader wholeheartedly. For none knew what fate might await them.
Dum, dum, dum. Didn't the Inquisition get in trouble for almost exactly pulling this during the chaos following in the Great Rift? A ton of them were killed for making their own puppet kingdoms that refused to answer to Holy Terra? Ooh. I do not know about that. We forgot to do Jay Hidari's celebration on Footfall. I don't really care. You spent the last few hours of your morning listening to the High Factorum's lengthy report on the latest trade exchanges, arrangements, disputes, and countless bureaucratic procedures. From outside the illuminated, tightly closed windows, you can hear the muffled sounds of Dargonis and its everyday life. The life that's been passing you by lately as you've been preoccupied with the affairs of your protectorate from dawn till dusk. Clementia barely contains a yawn. Once Janice is finished, she pulls out her data slate. Thank you for your report, High Factorum. Your work is highly appreciated both by everyone here and the Adeptus Administratum. Your Lordship, we're almost done. We just need to go over the final items on today's agenda, and I would like to report to you personally. I've lost track of how long I've been trapped on Dargonis for the good of the Protectorate. Hurry up, I better hear some good news today. The Chancellor and the High Factorum exchange nervous glances. I'll strive my best to live up to your expectations. Allow me to pass on gifts from your loyal subjects, the high nobility of Dargonis. It goes without saying that every living soul in your protectorate is blessed to serve your lordship faithfully and wholeheartedly. However, this humble gesture is meant as a token of deepest appreciation of your magnanimity towards the esteemed families. In the past cycle, House Drivestem tripled the tithes collected from House subjects. Your coffers are overflowing, and the governor has expressed hope that this modest gift will become a symbol of your present and future successes. Lord Captain, news of the particular import has come from House Intelligence Network. Helgazar is rumored to be planning a visit to Footfall. A number of Imperial Navy ships were commandeered by Calcazar and are also being scrambled to footfall. We've received reports claiming that the secret messages were delivered to capital worlds of Korda and Winterscale. It's possible that the Lord Inquisitor's call to arms may smother the conflict that is brewing between the two dynasties. We're seeing an increasing number of skirmishes between their ships in neutral systems, and do not doubt that Her Lady Short Korda will attempt to sway the Lord Inquisitor to her side. Especially since Winterscale's luck seems to be running out. Riots have broken out on several of his worlds, and yet he's shown no intention of quelling them. Instead, he inflicted brutal punishment upon one of his oldest colonies, Vesuvia Secundus, based on allegations of seditious sentiment. Oddly enough, our agents were unable to find any proof of sedition among the populace there. As soon as we have updates, you will be the first to know, your lordship. Lastly, your pet Xenos, Yerilet, I believe, is seeking a meeting with you. She had the audacity to defile the Rogue Trader's palace with her profane presence and refuses to leave until she's spoken with you. I would never presume to be able to read the emotions of Xenos, but the Aldari appeared perturbed. She mentioned a voidship of some sort. I might be best if she told you everything directly. And with that, please allow me and Danrock to take our leave. Perhaps our last request will serve as a welcome distraction. Indeed, your lordship's stay on Dargonis has been rather long. However, your protectorate is now enjoying a period of relative stability that, for the time being, no longer demands your personal involvement in its affairs. Glory to the Rogue Trader. There's like a pile of blood on my carpet here. All right. Yerilet. Elentak, at last you have left your ornate cage. For many a turn have I sought to meet you, and yet your servant, the one who is like the silver-haired Abelard, but twice as young, has no favor for the requests of the child of Asurian. Take me to a place where the hearing of others will not steal the words intended for you. While we were mending the wounds of this world left by the Twisted One's attack, I was able to discover not Tark's faith, merely traces of it. As Muran found sanctuary under the boughs of Lilith's forest, so did my other kin find refuge in a system known as the Atlas Reach. We must make a journey there with haste before new dangers destroy the witnesses who can show me the way to the lost Crudark, whose fate remains shrouded by the stars. Their knowledge is the sole thread that may lead me to the truth. I ask that your metal-winged ship take me there before it tears the strain of time and circumstances. How were you able to contact those Aldari? I did not contact them. I have no means to do so. But I had enough time to explore the stone jungles of your world. I heard that comes
with World of Warcraft expertise.
Is it Nurgle that we serve? We're more serving Tzeentch, I think, seems to be the way. Nurgle comes with World of Warcraft expertise? I'm not quite sure I understand. The Weaver of Fates? Yeah, the Weaver is often who it's been named as. The path of the outcast has taught me to observe and listen to the world around me. The throngs of monkey at the port, errant conversations, rumors, chance words, like parts of a speckled mosaic. My kin were seen in Atlas Reach, and now all we have to do is pull at the web of connections. I don't care about your boat. Her gaze burns through you. I only joined you to seek out my craft world, Monkey. You helped me overcome adversity and foes, at times turning my weapon against my own kin. The time has come for you to honor our pact. I will leave your palace and wait for you to give the orders to embark. I mean, I'm gonna at least be honest with her. Calling WoW players smelly? I understand now. When you put it like that. No new loot on the Eagle. I guess let's head to the bridge. So all we can do is head to the bridge. And we'll carry on with the beginning of Act 3. But I guess if we're starting Act 3, we better cut the video here. So we hope you come back and join us in the next one.